Hey, what's up? Thank you, Tanner. What's up, everybody? Happy Tuesday. It's been awesome kind of tuning in and checking out all the sessions so far. Jason, you crushed it, man. Love listening to you as always. We're going to dive straight in and we're going to talk about what I call the ultimate hiring flywheel. How can we get employees on autopilot, attracted into our business, loaded in to where we can finally stop worrying about the labor shortage and the talent problem? Jason said very aptly that this isn't really a painting business. We don't just focus on selling paint. It's a people business. And our product that we have is our people inside of that company, our number one greatest asset. To kind of kick things off, I want to share a quick story about this man right here, centered, and his men. This guy right here is named Wagner Dodge. Now, what's cool about Dodge is that he's a smoke jumper. Now, the smoke jumper profession is someone that gets in a plane, flies out to remote forest locations, jumps out of the plane, parachutes down, and fights wild forest fires. Just another day at the office for these guys. Well, we're going to go back in time to August 5th, 1949. They responded to this call in Helena, Montana. They parachuted down. It was called Man Gulch. And upon assessing the fire, him and his 13 men determined that this was just going to be another, what they call a 2 o'clock fire. Wrapped up by 2 o'clock, all finished. But just under a couple hours after they arrived, something happened. Something known as the blow-up stage. It's where you have these deadly ingredients that combine that cause this fire literally to explode. So imagine them inside of this, almost like a canyon, this gulch, where trees and the fire is surrounding them literally on all four sides with no escape. High winds, high temperatures, and dry grass combined to cause this fire literally to explode. 3,000 acres burn up in 10 minutes, 5 acres a second. Now, these men are scrambling, trying to figure out what to do, and they look to Dodge, their leader, for direction. And Dodge is very busy, hurriedly so, setting fire to the grass in front of them. Seemingly they're their only source of escape. He's torching the grass. Now his guys look at him like he's crazy and they're saying, "What are you doing?" And he's kind of ignoring them. It's loud. It's very chaotic, as you could imagine. And the guys who are looking for leadership and direction at this point in time make a judgment call. Now I'll tell you what that judgment call here is towards the end of our session. But the choice that they made that day literally was life and death. And when we think about our business, our ability to be able to lead, to communicate to our team members, to have an effective team, maybe it's not life and death, but what is at stake? Your legacy. You promising your spouse that this business that you told her would work out great, him or her, work out great. Your ability, your family, your friends who said there's no way you can do this. This is at stake. Your team's dreams are at stake. You know, they're deciding to spend more time working for you than they spend at home, even with their own families, more waking hours. And they have dreams and goals that they hope you and trust you to be able to accomplish those. So maybe it's not life and death, but there's a lot at stake as business owners, as leaders of our teams, to be able to effectively lead and communicate and bring in amazing people to build this business that we decided one day to jump off a cliff and build a plane on the way down. Crazy entrepreneurial venture. There's a lot at stake. And maybe you feel that every day. You feel that. Heavy is the head that wears the crown, they say. Well, really quickly about myself, I've been in home services my entire life. My father was a window cleaner for 33 years. I became a window cleaner, followed right in his own footsteps. Made every single possible mistake you could imagine. In 2012, scaled my business from 0 employees to about 70 employees over the course of 5.5 years. And was not easy by any means. And I'll share a quick story on that here in a second. This more recently, just in January of 2021, started a coatings business and launched it from scratch. We took that business from 0 to 37 locations in 3.5 years, doing about $2 million a month in revenue. But one of the things that we did to kind of kick off this journey of Wise Coatings is we set a couple of rules. The rules for myself was no work in the field from day one, no sales calls from day one, and no phone calls. So not even answering any phone calls from day one. And to date, I've spent between 1 and 5 hours a week. Currently, I spend about an hour a week in this business meeting with my executive team. And the challenge in building this business was, first and foremost, to find great people, to pretend that I was building a business with no arms and no legs, just using my brain. Actually, using the brain of the people that I hired. My brain's not that smart. I have to find people way smarter than me to come in and build these businesses. Now, not that many years ago, the experience that I was kind of sharing with you about a lot of the mistakes I made, this is one of them. When we were growing, we're about 2 years into the business, and my brother at the time was working for me. He had taken his own life unexpectedly. A very, very hard time. I checked out mentally in my business, very difficult. And within just a few months after that, over half of my team turned in their notice that they were quitting. And they all did this within a span of about 2 weeks. Literally half of my team gone. We were booked out for 2 months solid in the middle of our busy season. And I had my first panic attack. And the funny thing was I blamed everybody else. I blamed my employees. I blamed my family. I blamed everything except for myself. But I had a really good mentor that shared a framework with me and shared a lot of different things, specifically around culture, and how the reason why I was struggling so much was because I stopped caring about my team members. I cared most about my dreams and my goals and not enough about their dreams and their goals. So the framework that we're going to talk about, and the reason why we call this the ultimate hiring flywheel, is it actually comes from a business model that this man invented, Jeff Bezos. And on a napkin in a diner, classic business story that's just absolutely epic. He writes down this flywheel model that is now the Amazon model of growth. Now, we all know the success of Amazon. This is what he wrote down on the napkin. He said, if we focus on these few key pillars, the number one, customer experience, we drive amazing customer experience, inevitably that's going to lead to more traffic on our site. If we have more traffic on our site, inevitably that's going to lead to more sellers in our platform. More sellers are going to want to sell their stuff. If we have more sellers who want to sell their stuff, that's going to lead to greater selection. And because we have a great selection, you can literally get anything on our platform. That's going to lead to a great customer experience. Isn't that cool? Literally any one of these 4 areas that he focuses on will drive tremendous growth in his company. And with that growth, there's a couple other additional synergies that come out of this. Number one, you get lower cost structure the more that you grow. Your margins get better, which in turn leads to lower prices, which in turn leads to customer experience. Amazing business model, this flywheel business model. Many businesses have subsequently tried to adapt this and copy this. It was about 2015 when I heard this example and really kind of set out to try to figure out how could I adapt this to my business? How could I adapt this to my cleaning company, my home service business, specifically when it came to getting really good employees? And the pillars that I kind of want to share with you are ones that aren't just from my own thought, but a lot of good thought partners in my mastermind group, my coaches, my mentors, was that if we could focus on attracting really great employees through marketing efforts, et cetera, and then when those employees come into our business, we can train them to be phenomenal inside of our company. Then we focus on inspiring them. Then we can focus on empowering them to go out and find other people just like them. Then that attracts more people into the business. So if we focus on each one of these 4 different core areas inside of our company, we can literally transform the way that we recruit and hire people and bring them into our business on autopilot and can grow our talent pool on autopilot. So we're going to take each one of these 4 ones. Let's go ahead and start off with number 1, attract. Now, attract has to do with primarily the marketing side of the business. Getting really great talent and really great people, first and foremost, is a marketing challenge to solve. First and foremost. So all the principles that you think about when it comes to going out and attracting your customers who give you money are the same principles we use to attract great people into our business. And this is a key question to ask. Why would somebody want to work for you in your business? It's kind of a tough question if you've never considered this before. This concept of our external customers being these ones, and that we know how to go out and get. We can market on Google, Facebook, direct mail. We may even kind of have a customer avatar. Mrs. Smith has 2.5 kids. This is their average household income. But our employees are these internal customers. And when you think of your business as a product on a shelf, you see all these different cereals in the background, maybe when you go into a grocery store, what really stands out? What pops off of the shelf? Is your business popping off of the shelf? Michael Gerber in the E-Myth talks about this. If your business was a product on a shelf, what would really cause you to hop off the shelf and stand out among all of your competitors? Did you know that the average job applicant can apply to 50 jobs in 30 minutes? We actually tested this. We went on Indeed and found that we could apply to 50 jobs within 30 minutes very, very easily. They make it very easy to do that. And when you go on to Indeed and you go onto some of these job sites, every job ad looks exactly the same. It's crazy. How are you standing out? How are you standing apart? One of the first things that we're going to talk about is how you write and compose your job ads. A job ad is not a job description. And I want to say that again. A job ad is not a job description. A lot of times I will go onto Indeed and I'll see painting businesses, cleaning businesses, home service companies. They write their ads as an HR template that's a job description. This is an advertisement, and our goal is to sell somebody into wanting to come in and talk to us about this. The goal is to have as big of a top of funnel as possible, and then we can filter and kind of sort out after the fact, and we're going to talk about how to do that. But the job ads, the ones that we write for Wise Coatings, we use the word you a lot in our ads. And this is really important. When someone shows up, a big mistake I see a lot of businesses make, and we've studied literally the data on tens of thousands of posts, and the ones that perform the best are ones that talk about your target customer, your internal customer, in the first person. You are always working to level up in your life, both personally and professionally. You love running towards problems and enjoy being recognized as a high performer and thrive in a fast-paced environment. These things we have bolded are actually our core values in our business. When we write our job ads, we ensure that they align with what actually matters to us, and we speak to that person in the first person. What a lot of people do is they'll say, we're this awesome company and we do this, and we're looking for someone that's like this, and we need someone like that. And if, and then maybe they talk about the you afterwards. Or it's so dry and drab. It's like, you must be able to lift 50 pounds. You must be able to pass a drug test. You must have a clean driving record. Like, talk about selling the opportunity of a lifetime, people. Literally, they spend more time with the company that they choose to work with, their waking hours, than they spend at home with their own families, potentially for years. Is that not a tougher sell than going out and convincing someone to do a repaint on their home? Yeah, way tougher. Are we putting the same amount of effort in attracting and advertising for people as we do for our customers? Let's do a little quick test. Do you have a careers page? Do you have a careers video? Do you have marketing material specifically for your employees? Have you sat down and interviewed your employees and created a sizzle reel on what it's like to work in your company and what the opportunities are? Have you sat down and actually written an employee avatar about who is your actual ideal employee and what they look like, where they worked before, what their interests are, what their background is, what their demographics are, their psychographics? Have you sat down and gone through that exercise? Are you spending an appropriate amount of money advertising for these ones? Sometimes we don't think about that. We're like, oh, we just got the free Indeed posts and the free Craigslist posts, and that's pretty much it. And we wonder why we can't find people. On average, it takes 200 applicants to get one solid rockstar employee. 200 applicants. And getting through all of that effort can be very, very difficult. But the attraction game is super important. Now, on the backside of this, after we talk about who you are, we talk about who we are. We actually have a video. If you want to check out Wise Coatings video for our employees, go to YouTube, search up Leveling Up, Working and Leveling Up at Wise Coatings. You'll see our video there. What we did is we just brought in all of our employees and we interviewed them. Hey, why did you pick Wise Coatings? Tell us about the worst job you ever had. Why did you leave that job? Why did you come to us? What caught your eye? And we just turned that into a video. And that video, hands down, has been one of the best recruiting assets that we have. Even when we talk about this, we talk about check out what your coworkers say, Wise Coatings. And we futurecast that a little bit. Okay, so first step is attract. We have to understand our core values. We have to understand what we're looking for, and we have to deliberately go out and we have to market for those. Recruiting is a marketing problem to solve. The second part is whether or not we only go out and find people that have experience or not. Let me ask you a question. Is it always good to find someone who has years and years and years of painting experience? Is it always a good thing? Has anyone ever had any bad experiences of hiring someone with a lot of experience where they came in and they only use this type of brush, they only use this type of equipment, they only use this specific type of thing, and then they start talking about how their previous company did it better and why they didn't do it this way, or you have to like untrain a lot of bad habits. No, we don't tape, we don't do this, we don't do that. It can be a nightmare. But if we have a really solid training program in place, I'm talking from day one, we know exactly what that employee is doing when they onboard through day 60. We have that written out plan. We have the videos cataloged, and we follow the 3 steps of a training program: tell, show, and watch. We tell them what to do, we show them what to do, and that third part is watching them for long enough to ensure that they're actually getting it done. This means we have to have trainers. We have to have trainers inside of our company. We have to train our trainers on how to do it properly, not just, hey, John, you're going to work with Michael. Michael's going to show you the ropes. These are a few of our videos that we have for Wise Coatings. And when we first launched Wise Coatings, within the first 3 months of launching the business, we had over 150 training videos. And we spent intentional time walking through absolutely everything. How to do, from doing the scratch test, the moisture test, to mixing our chemicals, to doing applications, to repairing our grinders, to how to book jobs inside of our CRM, to how to, do our sales calls. We have our scripts, even for our salespeople, that train them on DISC. Jason mentioned DISC. We actually identify and train our salespeople, what facial expressions do certain people make with different DISC profiles, and how you sell to them and how you talk to them, and can kind of, bond with them and build that rapport a little bit better. And all these videos are so critical to get people onto your team and get them up to speed as fast as possible. If you feel like you're plateauing at maybe the, $1 to $3 million mark, it's so critical to have a robust training system that allows you to go out and experience, hire people that have a beginner's heart, have good work ethic, good soft skills, and then you train them on the hard skills afterwards. And it's really easy to get some of these things. You can go to LinkedIn Learning and grab videos. You can go onto YouTube and grab videos. You can use Loom, a screen recording software, to record these. We even have purchased Financial Peace University for our technicians and our employees to be able to just learn the financial responsibility. Because you ever have a problem with people feeling like they constantly need to get draws on their checks and, always having problems financially? Well, we teach them, we train them on how to do that. All right, the third part is inspire. What matters most to employees? It's not money, even though most of the times people typically default to that and feel like the only way they can get good employees is just to throw a lot of money at them. What employees actually say when they've done these studies is appreciation, inspiration, and recognition. Those are the 3. It spells AIR for short. A feeling of belonging, a positive work environment, and benefits are even one thing that employees say they actually value more than even just money alone. If you're not offering health, dental, vision, okay, why not? It's not as expensive as you think it is. And the quality of person that you get when you offer those types of benefits substantially increases. Substantially. And not everyone's going to take you up on the benefits. You're going to only pay a certain percentage, and it's not as expensive as you think. But you just get a different caliber of person that comes in where they actually feel like it's a career. And you get those career-oriented, career-minded individuals that come in. I'm not going to go through this exhaustive list, but here's just a really quick idea on ways that you can create AIR for your employees. Even small gestures, having clean trucks, doing company outings, culture of safety, having a strong brand that your employees can be proud of. All of these things go towards creating that environment where your employees are inspired to do greater things. And this is how you build a strong company culture inside of your organization. A great book, by the way, to go check out is The Dream Manager by Matthew Kelly. Highly recommend. It talks about finding about your employees' dreams and how to help them achieve those. Super powerful. All right, our last one is empower. There's a lot of people that could potentially come work for you in your business. You have some of those people, if you look at the whole pool of available employees, they're not available. They're what we call lifers. These are employees that they love their jobs that they're at so much right now, they would never consider leaving. We hope that some of our employees would consider themselves lifers, right? But there's those individuals, they'd never come work for you. And then there's also the other group of people that we'll call the losers. And these losers are ones that we wouldn't want to have come work for us in our company. They're bad soft skills, bad technical skills, bad fit in general. Perhaps they're serial job hoppers. They're only been at jobs for a few months at a time. Maybe they're on unemployment. They apply and they just ghost you. There's a lot of these that exist out there in the talent pool. And then the third group is lookers. These are the ones that are actively looking for a job, for a career. Perhaps they apply to you. A relatively small group. And then the fourth group are the ones that I call leaners. These are the ones that kind of lean from one job to the next. They're pretty content inside of their company right now, but they're just, they're not uncomfortable to the point where they're going out and applying and searching Indeed. But maybe once every few months they go and they just check to see kind of what's out there, but they're not like seriously looking. But the right opportunity came up, they would absolutely consider it. And this represents probably one of the biggest opportunities that we can go and chase down are these groups inside the lookers and the leaners. It's easy to go out and get the lookers. These are the ones actively today looking on Indeed, but the leaners are the ones that may sporadically do it. And this is why it's so important that we focus on two things. Number one, give our employees the gift that you have as an entrepreneur. As an entrepreneur, you have the gift to pick every single one of your coworkers. How awesome is that? Let's give our employees that gift by telling them, hey, you can pick your coworkers. Here's how it works. Go out, find employees that you feel like would be a fantastic fit, people that you would love to work with. You'd love to be a coworker with them. They're going to be a high performer, and I'll pay you a bounty. For those of you bring in, we'll pay you from $500 to $5,000, but it's based on retention. So they come in, they stay for 3 months, 6 months, whatever. And that's when you get your payout. One of our number one lead sources for new employees came from this referral pool that we had. And then also going out and doing interruption marketing. We would run Facebook ads, and we still do. And we find a lot of people that aren't actively looking on Indeed, but when the ad pops up while they're scrolling, it's interesting. They apply, the leaners group. And then lastly, a talent pool, a waiting list, because you're recruiting 365 days a year. You should never turn off your recruiting, just like you should never turn off your marketing for your business. You should always have it on, always have people funneling in through the cycle. This is our HireBus software. This is what we do. We literally install AI-powered fractional recruiters that recruit for you 365 days a year. They write the job ads, they post them, they manage candidates, they message them, they build a talent pool and a waiting list literally while you sleep, even doing the first round of interviews. And then you have this waiting list. So when the time comes to open up a position, you have a lot of people on demand ready to bring into your company. And I'll show you a little bit more about that here in a second. But let's kind of review the flywheel. Attract, train, inspire, empower. This is what we're focusing on. Now, I'm going to wrap up here in just a minute, but I want to ask you a question. What is the biggest expense inside of your business? You can go ahead and drop it into chat if you want to take a stab at it. I'm not going to leave you on edge for too long. The biggest expense, oftentimes I'll hear answers that it's payroll, it's taxes, it's people. It's a little bit of a trick question. It's not payroll, it's not taxes, it's not supplies. The biggest expense, and I'll share this in an example here, an illustration. If your business is currently at 2 million and you have a goal of someday getting to $20 million, at 20 million bucks, you have a gap of $18 million. This is your expense. The biggest expense is not knowing how to make $20 million from where you're at right now at 2 million. It literally is it, because there are people that know exactly how to make a $20 million business. If you're at 2 million, you do not know how to do that. That is your biggest expense. It's knowledge and it's execution. $18 million a year it's costing you right now not to be at $20 million a year if you're at 2 million. Same applies no matter what it is. It's always your biggest expense. And oftentimes when we look at our employees, we look at our employees as expenses as well. But a good employee is never an expense. They're always a income producing asset in our business. Not asset is like bookkeeping, definition, but asset as far as when we bring a good person in and we set them up for success, we make sure they're trained, they're the right person. It's inevitable that they will make us money. They will make the company money and add to the bottom line. Would you ever pay somebody $1 million a year? If I told you that you could hire this employee right here and he only costs $1 million a year, would you hire him? It's a lot of money. What if I told you that this gentleman right here, Richard Picard, is one of the top salesmen in the country, and he sells personally $12 million a year in residential HVAC systems? Can you guys wrap your head around that? Is that would you not be happy to stroke someone a check if they were bringing in $12 million a year into your business? You'd happily write them a check for $1 million. A good employee will always get you revenue and bring on additional revenue, whether it's a salesperson, technicians that are properly trained, anyone inside of your organization. They free up time. And the only way you can build a $20 million business is to have a lot of humans inside of it that are spending a lot of time, energy, and effort to get that business on autopilot and growing. By the way, this is one of the things that we have in HireBus. We score every single candidate that we bring into our system before you even interview them with a quick one-question assessment that has a high degree of accuracy on how well they'll do for a given role based on their behaviors. And our software is getting so intelligent now that it's factoring in their resume analysis, the score, their behavior score, and all the data that we have now of about 2 million employees on our platform. And with this individual here, he scored a 10 on outside sales. And so when you imagine writing a check to someone, to your competition or whoever for $18 million, let that sting a little bit. So really quickly to wrap up, this guy right here with Dodge, his team looked at him as he was crazy and they all made a run for it. And what's worse was that 12 out of 13 perished. Dodge survived. Had he led them better, everyone could have survived. He created this safe black, is what it's called. It's used in modern day forest firefighting now. Blackened grass where they lay down in it and fire safely passed around them. But the reality is that everyone's counting on our ability to be able to lead, our ability to be able to hire great people. Your team's dreams are at stake, your legacy's at stake, and you need great people to be able to do so. I'd love to be your thought partner and your hiring partner to be able to do that. If you need to hire great people or you need ongoing recruiting for your business, highly recommend you schedule a free strategy call with us. You can scan this QR code. You can go to this link. We have a special offer specifically for people that are here at Liftoff. But it's more affordable than you think, and the value is unbelievable. One good salesperson, one good project manager, one good employee in your business, production manager, et cetera, can drastically change your life. I definitely believe that, and we'd love to help you find those people. So thank you guys for tuning in. Let's build the ultimate hiring flywheel.